Deep dives and blue skies. Welcome back to Talking Blue with Nick, the best Dodgers analytical podcast that you can find. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Blue. I'm your host, Nick. You are listening to episode 15, where today we're going to recap the Dodgers and Pirates series. The Dodgers just took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates, so they win the series. Dodgers lose game 1, but take the last 2 games to win the series, as I said. Pretty fun series. We're going to get into all of it right now. Before we get into it, get this podcast on Apple Podcast, on Spotify. You can watch it on YouTube if you prefer that. You can follow us on @TalkingBluePod on X and on TikTok, as well as Instagram. Follow my personal X @TalkingBlueNick. Follow us on Reddit as well. Our Reddit username is competitive-week8715. A lot of fans on there have been talking to me. A lot of Dodger fans on Reddit, so that's really good. No new information on any injuries except for Tyler Glasnow, of course, from one of these games. We'll get into that, as everybody saw today's game. So, quickly, let's run through game 1. This is going to be the quickest game. Not much to talk about in this game. It would be Paul Skenes versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. This was on Friday, April 25th. One of the most exciting games to see all year. The week previously, we saw Jacob deGrom versus Yamamoto. Now we see Paul Skenes versus Yamamoto, 2 of the best pitchers in the National League, so that's really exciting. Everyone was really hyped to see this. Top of the first inning, Yamamoto allowed a walk to O'Neal Cruz. Eventually, Emmanuel Valdez hit a sharp single into center field to make it 1-0 Pirates. All the way into the 5th inning, Yamamoto gets through 5, but O'Neal Cruz brings in Henry Davis, who got on at an error to make it 2-0 Pirates. Then Ke'Bryan Hayes also singles to bring in Emmanuel Valdez, who got on a fielder's choice. So Pirates go up 3-0. That score would remain all the way until the end. The Pirates would win by a score of 3-0. Paul Skenes gets the win. He goes 6.1, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. Yamamoto goes 5 innings. Vesia for 1, Garcia for 1, and then Noah Davis comes back for 2 innings. Yamamoto's final line, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So not Yamamoto's best performance, but it does show how good he's been this season, that in a game where he only gives up 1 earned run, goes 5 innings, strikes out 5, that's considered his worst outing. Wasn't bad by any means, but it was the worst command he's had so far this year for sure. 94 pitches. Like I said, he had the 4 walks, so that didn't help with his pitch count. Threw a lot of 4-seamers in this game, a lot more than splitters. Also threw a good amount of curveballs. So continued to kind of go with the 3-pitch mix, 4-seam, splitter, curveball, and then did mix in a few cutters and sinkers and a couple of sliders. Did get 10 whiffs in the game. So the story of the game was Paul Skenes. And I talked to you guys on the series preview pod that Skenes is really good, probably the best pitcher in the game. Certainly this year, he's probably right behind Yamamoto, or definitely in the top 5. One of the best starts to a career for a starting pitcher for sure. And I told you guys to not expect too much in this game. And obviously he goes 6.1 and strikes out 9. Pretty dominant. What makes him so dominant, like I talked about, is how he has some of the best stuff in baseball, especially for a starting pitcher. He probably has the best stuff for a starting pitcher. And he pounds the zone. He didn't give up any walks in this game. Like I said, the 9 strikeouts. So he's just so hard to pitch. On top of all that, he has like 7 pitches. So super dominant. He was in control for the whole night. Like I said, I didn't expect a whole lot. I thought the Dodgers could have definitely beat him. Yamamoto didn't pitch too bad, but at the end of the day, Skenes outdueled him, and the Dodgers got shut down. What was really disappointing for me from this game is that the Dodgers showed no life when Skenes came out of the game. They got dominated by him, which happens. It's understandable. He dominates pretty much everyone he faces. But after that, when he comes out in the 7th inning, the Dodgers showed no life, and that's what I tweeted was kind of embarrassing. Like, when Skeen comes out of the game, you need to show some life. We need to show, okay, Skenes is out of the game. We're ready to bounce right back into this game. We're ready to jump right back into this game. And they didn't show any of that. You just got to have some energy when Skenes comes out of the game there. So, again, I know they lost 3-0. It's not like they got killed or anything, but just a downer of a game when you're expecting a really exciting game and you just kind of get shut down by Skenes. But didn't have expectations of the Dodgers hitting Skenes around and anything like that. So that's pretty much all my thoughts from this game. Yamamoto pitched fine. 6 games, 6 starts. He's got an ERA of 1.06. In 34 innings, he's got 43 strikeouts. So he's still probably the best pitcher in the game right now. He's been really dialed in with his command as of late, so it got away from him a little bit in this game. We did talk about how the Pirates were a really patient team and don't swing out of the zone, and they showed that all this series. So let's go ahead and go to Game 2. Game 2 and Game 3 were a little bit more exciting games. So Game 2, Roki Sasaki versus Mitch Keller. This game was on Saturday night, April 26th. The Dodgers are wearing their City Connects for the first time this year. I didn't even mention I'm wearing a Dodgers jersey. This is a Yamamoto jersey. Don't know if you could see it in the camera, but thought I'd rep one of my Dodgers jerseys today. So let's go ahead and get into Game 2. Right away, O'Neal Cruz homers on the first pitch of the game. So Dodgers are immediately down 1-0. But the Dodgers would answer back in the bottom of the first inning. Shohei Ohtani starts off the inning with a double. Mookie would line out, and then Freddie would strike out. But then Teoscar Hernandez doubles into right field to tie up the game. Right away, Teoscar Hernandez answers back and has a big 2-out hit, which he's kind of done a lot early in this young season. Then Tommy Edman hit a ground ball to second base. Adam Frazier threw the ball away, so it should have been the 3rd out of the inning, but the Dodgers cash in on an error from Adam Frazier, a bad throw. So they go up 2-1. Later on in the 2nd inning, Pirates did put some base runners on, but Teoscar Hernandez made a really nice double play in right field, a little blooper, made a nice running catch. Tommy Pham decides to tag. He throws him out at home plate. So Teoscar Hernandez does a lot of things early on in this game. 2nd inning, Andy Paz hit a nice double. We're going to talk about Andy Paz. This was the series of Andy Paz, but nothing in the 3rd inning. We'll go ahead and go all the way to the 5th inning. Adam Frazier started off the inning with a single. Tommy Pham would then double. These were both on 2 strike pitches, so Sasaki was struggling to put some hitters away at this point. Does get IKF to strike out, but then O'Neal Cruz rips a single into right, so the Pirates go up 3-2. Then in the 5th inning, Shohei Ohtani would triple down the right field line. Freddie Freeman then singles, a nice 2-out hit. So Dodgers tie the game up 3-3. Tommy Pham singles, IKF singles, O'Neal Cruz singles. So right away, bases loaded, no outs. The Dodgers would get a force out that brought in a run, but then after an Andrew McCutchen strikeout and then a nice play by Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers do get out of the inning. So bases loaded, no outs, could have been disastrous. Evan Phillips helped Jack Gyer get out of the inning. So Dodgers are only down 1 run, 4-3. 7th inning, this was one of the best innings so far in this young season. Andy Paz singles to right field, another hit for him. Shohei Ohtani doubles into left center field, an absolute missile off the bat against Caleb Ferguson, old friend. He then steals 3rd, Mookie Betts walks, and then Freddie Freeman did ground into a double play. It was a really nice play by the first baseman. Later on, Kirby Yates would have a clean 8th inning. And then the bottom of the 8th inning, Teoscar Hernandez leading off the 8th. Solo home run to left field, puts the Dodgers up 5-4. Clutch home run. Tommy Edman would then double. Will Smith would then walk. Then Kike Hernandez pinch hits for Michael Conforto. Home run to left field. So he was one of my bonus picks. It was for Game 3, so I won't take really any credit there. But still nice to see Kike homer. He has his 5th home run of the year. Later on, Muncy would walk. Another Paz single. Go up 8-4. Tanner Scott would come in and get the 3 outs. So the Dodgers win game 2 by a score of 8-4. Roki Sasaki did not get the win, but he does go 5.2. Jack Dreyer for 2/3 of an inning, Evan Phillips for 2/3, Kirby Yates for 1, Tanner Scott for 1. Like I said, it wasn't a save opportunity. Dodgers score 2 runs off of Mitch Keller. Roki Sasaki's final line, 5.2, gives up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, only 2 walks, and he does get 4 strikeouts, had 8 whiffs in the game. So another solid performance by Roki Sasaki. Again, I just wanted to note, I forgot if I mentioned it, but I just will now. Andy Pages had 3 hits in the first game. So now in game 2, Pages also had 3 hits. So he was just raking through the first 2 games. Ohtani also had 3 hits, which is good to see. He was falling into a little bit of a slump. Teoscar had the 2 hits, obviously the big home run. So we'll talk about Roki Sasaki really quick. I'm not going to do a long breakdown on him necessarily. I'll save that for Andy Pages. But just wanted to talk about his outing. He throws 93 pitches, which is the most pitches he has thrown this year. So that's very good to see. He continued to throw a decent amount of sliders. He threw 42 four-seam fastballs, 29 splitters, 22 sliders. The slider only got 1 swing and miss, and the splitter got 7 swings and misses. So the splitter looked really good today. His splitter, of course, always looks really good. But he got 7 whiffs on that pitch. Sasaki did get hit around a little bit more. Pages also made another really great play for him, which he's done a few times this year. Had some struggle putting away some hitters. Like I said, there was some 2-out hits. But Roki Sasaki continues to slowly progress. There are other things he's not necessarily progressing with, like the strikeout and the whiff numbers, but the command is getting better, and something that was really good to see from Sasaki was the fastball velocity was up this start, or I should say it was back up. He averaged 96 in this game, maxed out at 98. We talked about in his previous start against the Rangers, the velocity was down a little bit. He mentioned how he thought it had something to do with his mechanics, and he switched, or I should say he fixed something in his mechanics, and we see in this start the velocity did go back up. There was a lot of 96s and 97s, so that's pretty good to see. Like I said, the splitter also looked really good. Only got 1 swing and miss on the slider, but the slider numbers are still very good. So Sasaki has his walk percentage lower than his strikeout percentage now, but does not have a very high strikeout percentage, only 18%. He does not have a high whiff percentage. Percentage is only 22%. So Sasaki's gotten better with his command, lowering the walks, getting better at attacking the zone, first pitch strikes and stuff like that. He's continuing to kind of find out his pitch mix with the slider, with the really good splitter. He just still has things to figure out when it comes to his fastball, because his fastball so far in this young season only has an 8.9% whiff rate, which I believe is the lowest in all of baseball. He has a batting average against of 236 on the four-seamer, but an expected batting average of 319. So there's a lot of luck involved right now with this four-seam fastball. Now, he's finding a way to get outs and not get blown up or anything like that. But we've talked about before, his splitter has a batting average against of 148 and an expected batting average of 165. The slider has a batting average against of 111, expected batting average 169. He's got a whiff percentage on the splitter, 45%, the slider, 40%. So right now, the thing that Sasaki needs to tackle with his individual pitches is the fastball. I think he needs to implement a sinker and a cutter, either one of the other or maybe both. He's definitely got things to figure out with his pitch mix. He's obviously got the really good splitter. He's got nothing to change there. He's got the pretty good velocity on his fastball. Like I said, at times you would like it to be a little bit more consistent, but it's not leading to any whiffs at all. And then the slider has been really dominant. Doesn't throw it too much, but it's still been a really good pitch for him. He really just needs to figure out some stuff on his fastball. And then what he needs to figure out is how to get more swings and misses and chase. Getting chase for him is key. Now, again, the splitter and the slider are not getting hit hard, and they are leading to pretty good swing and miss numbers. And then the fastball, he's been fortunate so far. So Sasaki has not been bad by any means. He's continuing to slowly progress. His numbers on the year so far, a 3.55. In 25 innings, he's got 20 strikeouts. Expected batting average against is 255, which isn't too bad. Barrel percentage of 9.9. Hard hit percentage of 47.9. But he's got an ERA, like I said, of 3.55. His expected ERA is 5.44. So he has had some hard hit balls against him and been a little bit lucky. Like I said, there's almost been, I think, 3 different plays where Andy Paz at least robbed a home run or made a really nice play against the wall for him. He's got a 1.42 whip, which isn't great. So, again, Saki's got incredible stuff, and he's got really good movement, like I said, on a lot of his pitches. And he's getting better with the command, and it's impressive that for how young he is and how much he has to still figure out, he's pitching to a 3.55 ERA. So, he has not been bad by any means. He just has stuff to figure out. There's no doubt about it. They implement a sinker for him at some point. Is it the way he throws his four-seamer? Is he not throwing it at the top of the zone enough? He's got really good extension as well. He's in the 92nd percentile in extension. So there's not really any reason why Sasaki should have a poor fastball. But right now, for whatever reason, it's just not leading to any whiffs at all. But we are still in April, and Sasaki's already made a lot of improvements. So I think he'll continue to improve as the season goes on, and he'll continue to get better. So not at all worried about Sasaki. I think he's going to keep it getting better. So that's pretty much enough Sasaki talk for now. The offense was really good in this game. Obviously, Ohtani, he led the way. Well, him and Paz led the way, but Ohtani had 3 hits, had an RBI. The team kind of goes as Ohtani goes. He had fallen into a little bit of a slump ever since he came back to play the Rangers, and he also was getting a little bit unlucky before that. So it was really good to see him get a lot of extra base hits in this game, some clutch hits. Like I said, that 1 hit against Caleb Ferguson was an absolute missile. Andy Paz has 3 more hits in this game. Continues to hit sliders really well. I talked about how he hits well over 300 against sliders. And he's hit really good against Paul Skenes, so that's good to see him hit well against some velocity. He's spraying the ball all over the place, and then we'll obviously get to what he did in Game 3. So the offense has been coming around a little bit. Also, Teoscar Hernandez also had 2 hits in this game. So the Dodgers' offense has been a lot better lately, spreading it around more, less home run reliant. Ohtani's got an OPS of 890. Mookie is still struggling, but Freddie's got an OPS quietly of 915. Teoscar's is 845. Tommy Edman over 800. Will Smith over 900. Conforto and Muncy continue to struggle, of course. So a lot of credit to Andy Paz and a lot of credit to some of the other guys like Freddie, Hernandez. Like I said, it's also nice that Kike went deep in this game. So the offense is looking a lot better. Now we'll go ahead and go to Game 3, where Tyler Glasnow gets the start in this game. This was April 27th, Tyler Glasnow versus Bailey Falter. Sunday afternoon game. Top of the first inning, Andrew McCutchen homers to dead center off of Glasnow. Then Emmanuel Valdez homers to right field. That ball was blasted. Both balls were blasted, actually. So Pirates go up 2-0 right away. The Dodgers respond right away, so Ohtani walks to start off the inning. Then Mookie Betts singles to right field. Probably the best piece of hitting we saw from him all weekend. Teoscar would ground out. It was a really nice play by Brian Hayes to rob him of a hit. But then Freddie Freeman singles into right field. Another hard hit ball. Another clutch hit for Freddie. Ties up the game right away. Then Tommy Edman would reach on an error. He hit a ball to third base that Brian Hayes missed, kind of ate him up. And then another throwing error led to him going to third base. So Freddie Freeman scores on that play. So the Dodgers go up 3-2. Andy Paz would then come up and single to left field, a line drive single. Another hard hit ball. Dodgers go up 4-2. So right away after falling down 2-0, the Dodgers answer right back. So then, of course, second inning, this was one of the early stories in the game. Tyler Glasnow warming up. They showed on the replay, he was kind of moving his shoulder around, his arm around. Dave Roberts comes out and talks to him. They take him out of the game. Ben Kasparius comes in for him, so that's unfortunate for Glasnow. We'll get to that. And then Ben Kasparius has a clean second inning. Later on, Shohei Ohtani with another double into right field. Mookie Betts' sac fly would make it a 5-2 game. So the Dodgers have a pretty good lead in the game. Later on, Alex Vesia would replace Ben Kasparius. Then in the fifth inning, Teoscar Hernandez, he homers to dead center. One of my predictions that I got right in this game. I mentioned in the previous podcast, Teoscar and Freddie to go deep in game 1. It didn't happen. Game 2, I picked Conforto and Muncy. That did not happen. Then I picked in game 3, Teoscar and Pages. Teoscar homers in the 5th. Then later on in the 5th, Pages homers. So two of my predictions, my two predictions in this game both come true for me. So that made me feel very good. So the Dodgers are now up 8-2. Later on, Andy Pages just continues to mash. He drives in another run with a single to left field, puts the Dodgers up 9-2, and they would win by a score of 9-2. Glasnow for 1, Ben Kasparius 3.2, Vesia for 2/3, Luis Garcia for 2/3. Yoendrys Gomez makes his Dodger debut, just got picked up from the Yankees. He goes 3 innings, actually has 4 strikeouts. Quickly, we're going to talk about Glasnow. Obviously very disappointing. So Glasnow goes 1 inning, gives up the 2 home runs. He threw 17 pitches, immediately comes out for the second and comes out of the game. Just really disappointing. They have said that it is his shoulder. I'm a half glass full person, so they labeled it as shoulder discomfort, which could mean anything. So I guess it's positive that's not his elbow. It's positive that, he didn't necessarily come off the mound in a ton of pain. I was watching his post-game interview, and he was just basically saying he didn't really know what was going on. He just felt it kind of grab. So not much info yet on Glasnow. We'll probably have more tomorrow. Quickly, I'll talk about when the Dodgers got Glasnow. I've given my thoughts on this before. I thought, or at least I was hopeful, that a lot of the injury problems would be behind him since he got his Tommy John surgery with the Rays and was healthy after that. He, of course, got injured last year once he reached his career high in innings. Now he's hurt with his shoulder this year. So we'll see where all of it goes. It's still very early. He could just be out for a couple weeks, of course, if it's just his shoulder. I did see some people on X and stuff like that talking about how not only did the Dodgers acquire, when they traded for him, a pitcher who has a lot of injury concerns, but someone who's not as good as he used to be. Now, there's no question that Glasnow doesn't throw as hard as he used to on average. He's not averaging 97 or 98 or anything like that, but Glasnow's performance hasn't really gone down much. Like I said, he doesn't throw as hard, but I think that's on purpose. He's kind of said in some interviews that he doesn't chase velocity early in the count as much as he used to. And as soon as you see him, try to put someone away with a fastball, you see 97, 98, 96 pretty regularly. So I don't think Glasnow's gotten worse or anything like that. I just think he's always kind of battling through these little injuries that eventually turn into big injuries. And he's not a perfect pitcher, but when he's out there on the mound, I believe he's one of the 10 best pitchers in the game. He's just he's always been dominant, always had crazy stuff. So I'm not really sure why I saw some of that. All the injury stuff is completely understandable and is agreeable, of course. And for Glasnow going forward, at least for me, he kind of goes into that if he's available, then great. But until then, he's not really thinking too much about him in terms of long term. Now, again, that doesn't mean I'm just going to forget about him or anything like that. I had one of my earlier podcasts, I talked about how the starting pitching would shape up and all that. I talked about Yamamoto being the ace, Blake Snell being the 2, Sasaki eventually being the 3. And then I had my 2 wild cards as Glasnow and Ohtani. Of course, we haven't seen Ohtani pitch this year. And then Glasnow because of all the injury concerns. So because of that, and now he's hurt right now, or at least got injured in this game, whatever you want to call it, he kind of goes back into that boat for me where when he comes back, if he comes back and all that, and if he's available come October, later in the season, stuff like that, that's great. But right now, I'm going to kind of just not count on Glasnow. He just can't stay healthy. So when it comes to the postseason, if he's there, that's great, but it's kind of hard to count on him right now. So we'll go to Ben Kasparias. I wanted to give him a lot of credit. He, of course, relieved Tyler Glasnow in the second inning. Continues to pitch really good this year. Really, the only time Kasparias struggled was that one outing against the Cubs at Dodger Stadium. And he, like I said, threw 3.2 innings. He had 5 strikeouts in the game, no walks, no earned runs. He was averaging 96.7 miles an hour in this game. He actually maxed out at 98.8, which on the TV gets rounded up to 99. And he actually only threw, out of 54 pitches, he only threw 7 fastballs. He threw 23 sliders, 16 cutters, 8 curveballs, and 7 fastballs. So that's pretty impressive that even though the fastball was slightly ticking up and he was basically averaging right under 97 miles an hour, he didn't even throw the fastball that often. 8 whiffs in the game. So I just wanted to give a lot of credit to Ben Kasparias. It's almost like the Dodgers might have to consider stretching him out and putting him into the rotation or something like that. We've talked about how valuable it is to have a guy that can go multiple innings and stuff like that. I just wanted to read some of his numbers so far. He's got an ERA of 2.91 in 11 games. In 21.2 innings, he's got 23 strikeouts. He's in the 96th percentile in hard hit percentage, 72nd percentile in barrel percentage. He's in the 90th percentile in walk percentage. So he's not walking guys. He's not getting hit hard at all. He also gets a lot of chase. So he's in the 93rd percentile in chase percentage. So Ben Kasparias, wow. He's dropped his hard hit percentage from the year prior, 38% to 25%. Now the K percentage has gone down a little bit, but he still gets a lot of swings and misses. But the walk percentage, 10% in 2024, 4.2%. So he's just pounding the zone. Doesn't get a lot of ground balls, which can be a little scary at times. He's a fly ball pitcher, but he's getting swings and misses, gets a lot of chase, and is not getting hit hard. So that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing what Ben Kasparias has done. A guy who was not a highly touted prospect or anything like that has become a really valuable pitcher for the Dodgers. Of course, he's a IVB guy, induced vertical break. He was averaging 17 inches of induced vertical break, maxed out at 18. So that's really scary to think that Ben Kasparias has a really good fastball that's kind of ticking up this year. And he has all these other pitches that he threw more of in this game and has a little bit. On the air, he goes 39% four-seamer, 33% slider, 17% cutter, and then 10% curveball. So a legit 4-pitch mix. And on his individual pitches, he's got a batting average against a 192 on his four-seamer. He's got a batting average against a 217 on the slider. The cutter has a batting average against a 188. Now the curveball's been hit hard, a batting average against a 493. But he's got a whiff percentage of 28% on the four-seamer. He's got a whiff percentage of 26 on the slider, 25 on the cutter. So a lot of credit to Ben Kasparias. The Dodgers bullpen, where would the Dodgers bullpen and pitching staff be without him? I'm not saying they would have a horrible record or anything like that, but he's just been so massive for them. And I really wonder if the Dodgers will consider stretching him out a little bit and giving him a chance in the rotation. We'll see. They're probably going to have guys come back from injury soon, so maybe not. But shout out to Ben Kasparias. Lastly, we're going to talk about Andy Pages. What a series from Andy Pages. Had 10 hits in this weekend series against the Pirates. Absolutely dominated them. He came through for me and hit that home run. I just wanted to read Andy Pages' numbers on the year so far now. He is hitting .277 with a .355 on base, .506 slug, and an .861 OPS. These are numbers right after the game on Sunday, so I'm not sure how updated they are. I believe these on Baseball Savant, these are the updated numbers. But .277, .355, .506, .861. He's played incredible, and I just want to give some numbers really quickly before I do. Andy Pages, early in the year, it was, I believe, after the Philly series, so it was very early in the year. It was only the second weekend series of the year. The Dodgers lost the series to the Phillies. Pages was really struggling, swinging and missing a lot, taking some funky routes in center field. And a lot of people were calling for Pages to be sent down. They really didn't like how he was playing. And I got on here and said to you guys need to relax. It's very early. Pages has a lot of talent. He's a very young player. And he's really responded well. And I just wanted to give, these are his numbers. These are Andy Pages' numbers since April 4th of this year. He is hitting .302 with a .362 on base, a .585 slug, and a .947 OPS. That gives him a weighted runs created plus of 163. He's been the Dodgers' best hitter these last couple of weeks, and he's improved so much. He got off to such a slow start, and he's got his OPS on the year up to .861. He's hitting the ball a lot harder. He's hitting a lot better against lefties lately. On the year now, he's still hitting better against righties, .271 against righties, .200 against lefties. He's turned his season around. Again, it's still so early, but I just wanted to give him a lot of credit for what he did, considering that he got out to such a slow start. And then, of course, a lot of people have talked about his defense. They don't like how he plays center field. Earlier in the year, like I said, he took some funky routes. But in terms of outs above average, his range, he's in the 85th percentile. His arm strength is in the 97th percentile. He's got a sprint speed that is in the 79th percentile. Andy Pages has been playing good defense in center field. He's got a great arm, and a lot of credit to Andy Pages. I love watching him play. I've always believed in him because I just feel like when young players show the promise they do in the minor leagues and then early in their big league career, you got to buy into those guys. And Andy Pages, he's going to swing and miss at times. He's going to get blown away by some heaters sometimes, but he's been crushing off speed pitches this year. I think he's getting better against fastballs. He's starting to hit against lefties more, and he's been playing really good defense in center field. And obviously, one of the most fun parts of his game is that he's got a cannon for an arm. It was a really good series against the Pirates. They win the series, of course. Really good to see the Dodgers respond after the loss against the Pirates. Again, I wasn't so disappointed that they lost and got dominated by Skenes. I was really disappointed that they just showed no life once he came out of the game. But they come right back and respond in the two following games. Yamamoto continues to look solid. Not his best game, but he was still solid. Sasaki continues to get a little bit better. He still has things he needs to work on. I like that Ohtani showed some life in this series. Muncy and Conforto didn't do much. Muncy is continuing to still walk, not having a lot of hits to show for it. And then again, can't say enough about Andy Pages. This was the weekend of Andy Pages. I hope he continues this success all year. Of course, he won't hit to about a 900 OPS for the rest of the year, but it's really nice to have a guy at the bottom of the order that's doing this and giving this much productivity, especially when, like I said, he struggled early in the year, wasn't looking great defensively. A lot of people thought, who are the Dodgers going to have to trade for and all that? And right now it seems like they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about any of that because he's played really well. So we will talk to you guys next at the series preview against the Marlins. The Dodgers play 3 games against the Marlins in L.A. I would assume Dustin May will go. Then we will see who pitches after that. Maybe Landon Knack or Bobby Miller gets another shot. Thank you guys for listening. This was a pretty good series, pretty fun series. Got the candle back, of course. Dodgers bats wake up a little bit, and Andy Pages played incredible, like I said. So you can get this podcast on Spotify. You can watch on YouTube. You can also listen to it on Apple Podcasts. Follow us at Talking Blue Pod on all social media. Get into the conversation on Reddit. Look out for the shorts I'm going to be posting, TikTok Reels, Instagram Reels, all that stuff. And we will see you guys at the next series preview, Dodgers Marlins. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good day.